So I have a story I need to tell. Yesterday, something kind of awful happened. Like it was a shock. I was just pouring water into the kettle, and then suddenly I just kind of like heard like a pop, and then it sounded like a huge amount of water was just flowing everywhere. And you know when that, I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but you're just panicking like, where the fuck is this coming from? Because I haven't turned anything on upstairs. There's no one up there. And then you're kind of thinking the worst, which is that, oh my gosh, it sounded like there was like a leak in the pipe, and maybe that there's going to be huge amounts of water coming out the ceilings or out the walls or whatever, and you start panicking. And then I rushed upstairs to see where this water was coming from, and yeah, it was coming from the back of the sink. It was just really, really fast. Okay, my first reaction was to just like try and like tighten anything or try and take the tap off and just stop the water. I spent probably about 30 seconds trying to do that, realizing it wasn't going to work because that was too stiff. And I just couldn't think of any way. I was thinking there's got to be some sort of tap to turn it off, and then I quickly rushed to the boiler, and I know that there's a proper on the hot water tap, there's a proper tap to turn it off. So I turned that one off, but it was still flushing and like still water everywhere, and I was just kind of like in panic mode. And for some reason I did the stupid thing of just thinking, find a guy, go outside, find anyone that's walking, see if they know. There's also a builder who lives two doors down, so I kind of rushed over there to see if I could get him to help. After probably waiting about 1 or 2 minutes, he didn't respond, so I had to give up. And then I rushed back, and then I was like, right, I need to fix this. How do I fix this? And then I kind of had a small memory of one of the builders saying that every stopcock by the points of these sinks, they have like a bit where you can put a screwdriver in and you turn it. But yeah, it felt like my memory, I had no knowledge on what to do or anything, and I just about remembered that. And I feel really angry though, because this is the sort of thing that you should be teaching in schools. I shouldn't have to not know how to do basic things like this. Like it's such a big problem. And I know that I feel bad because it took me probably about 4 or 5 minutes to switch it off, and the extent of damage that can be caused in 5 minutes when water is just flowing out as fast as it possibly can, it is bad. And there was quite a lot of damage, and I had to turn my lights off because one of the lights was making like a sizzling sound, so I knew that there was water gathered up around that wiring. So I quickly turned the lights off as well. I have fixed it now, so I haven't fixed the tap now, but I once I put the screwdriver in and turned the water off, the flow stopped, and then I spent like about half an hour trying to absorb as much water into towels and buckets, and because it was all falling down the ceiling. But it's kind of a big problem, and I wish I would have just used the screwdriver. If my first response would have just been find the screwdriver, fix it, I probably would have been able to fix it within a minute. But I don't know. I feel like humans have this sort of wiring that if you're a woman, you can't fix something, and therefore you need a guy to fix it. And I feel really stupid because that was kind of my first response, and it was just like. And then when I couldn't find a guy, I was like, right, I can fix this, and I did fix it. But it's I think I took about 4 minutes longer than I should have done. But anyway, if that was a test, I definitely failed it. But I know that there are worse. A similar thing happened to my sister, only it was down the back of a washing machine, and the water happened to be flowing into an exit point. It was flowing into a gutter, and therefore it didn't cause any damage. But she left that pipe for 3-4 days, maybe even a week. I don't know how long. I know we just happened to randomly go to the house, and I was like, what's that noise? And she was just like, oh yeah, it's been doing that for a few days now. I mean, it could have been doing that for weeks. Just literally a flowing type pipe just going straight into the gutter, and I don't know how long it's been going on for. But her thought of trying to move it forward to try and figure out where's this running sound coming from, that just didn't even cross her mind. And I just it does make me wonder how many idiots are there that would take a lot longer. I think I responded quite slowly. I should have known to put the screwdriver in and turn it. That I've only been told once that's what you do. But yeah, because if you do a lot of things during your years, some information like that might actually slip out your mind. I know for next time, and I've looked to see where all the other where I think they're called stopcocks. But yeah, they don't actually have they're like a tap, but you have to have a screwdriver to use it. And yes, now that I know where they are, I'm more safe. I don't have a tap on there. I need to. I was thinking of buying a new tap, and then I realised, wait there, I need to actually see if this tap is actually broken or if it's just the pipe, and the pipe has actually just popped off. So it might just be a case of replacing that pipe, which will be about £5. But I need to remove the tap, but the tap is so firmly tight screwed onto the sink that I can't move it. So I've bought something online which says it's an 8-in-1 tap unscrewer. So I have to wait for that to arrive. It should arrive on Tuesday. If that arrives, and then I take it off and I see if the tap, I don't think the tap is actually damaged. I think it's just this pipe, because the pipe, when I was fiddling it afterwards to try and figure out what was broken, that actually came undone. So, and there was no like screw on the end. So I think it might just be the pipe that's broken, but I need to take the tap off to actually check that. And I was going to get a builder to do that, and I was thinking, why do I keep like relying on a builder to do things? It's so much better when you know you can fix something yourself. And because I have this slight phobia of taps breaking because of the tap breaking in the house next door and me not knowing how to fix it, so I have to call a builder out 3 times to fix it. And I'm just thinking, this is such a basic job, but because I've never had any experience with taps, I'd feel wrong about going into like someone or house that I'm renting out and trying to fix something when I've never done it before and have no clue what I'm doing. But yes, since it's my own house, I feel like I would want to take this opportunity to try and fix it myself. And I think it's a very easy thing. I need a proper, like even a spanner. I don't even think if a spanner would get in there. It's because there's like a whole wedge, so you really need to like get something up in there. And I've found the instrument that I need. If you can do things if you have the right equipment, and I have found something, so I just need to wait for it to arrive, and then I should just be able to change it, or if I do need to get a new tap, I will do that. But yes, I just thought I would say it because it was like panic, and I now I have no tap in the sink, but I have a tap in the bathroom, so, and in the kitchen, so it's not like I'm tapless or anything. But yes, I wanted to say that.